Hello students, today we'll start with the day 5 online class of chapter 2, that is microorganisms, friend and foe. So in this chapter we are going to see that how the microorganisms or microbes are friends as well as they are enemy to us. Now there are various living organisms which lives around us which we cannot normally see. These are called as microorganisms or microbes. So the microorganisms or microbes are so small that it is invisible with our naked eyes. It can be only seen with the help of magnifying glass or with the help of the microscope. That is why these are called microorganisms or microbes. Microorganisms are classified into four major groups. These groups are bacteria, fungi, protozoa, as well as algae. Now children, by seeing the image in this slide, you can see there are small microorganisms which are being divided into these groups. Now in this chapter, we are going to see that how these microorganisms are affecting us. How microorganisms are friend to us, as well as how they cause various diseases in plant body, animal body, as well as in human body. Now children, viruses are also microscopic. They, however, reproduce only inside the living cells of the host organism. Viruses can infect all types of life forms, from animals to plants and even to human beings. Many common diseases like cold, influenza, which is also called as flu, polio, chickenpox, are caused by viruses. Nowadays, you all must be knowing about coronavirus disease, which is also known as COVID-19. It is caused by the virus SARS-CoV-2, that is severe acute respiratory syndrome coronavirus 2. So in this image you can see the COVID-19 image as well as influenza virus also. Children, in this slide we will be seeing that there are various diseases which are caused by protozoans as well as bacteria. Protozoans are the unicellular cells as well as bacteria are also unicellular cell. Protozoan, they cause diseases like dysentery as well as malaria. Now when you talk about bacterial disease, the diseases names are typhoid as well as tuberculosis. Different protozoans are being given in this image. If you can see, it's amoeba, paramecium, euglena. These are the different protozoans which causes diseases. And even the unicellular microorganisms like bacteria, they cause disease. Now children, in this slide you will be able to see there are various microorganisms. These are algae, these are protozoans which includes your amoeba, paramecium. These are bacteria, these are fungus. It's a bread mold. As you know, it is also called as rhizopus, penicillium, as well as aspergillus. So these are fungi. Now where these microorganisms live? These microorganisms are found in various habitats. They can be in a very cold region, or they can be a hot spring, which is a thermal spring with water substantially higher than the air temperature. They can be in the desert region, where the barren area of landscape where little precipitation occurs. These type of microorganisms are also found in the marshy land. Now, a marsh is a type of a wetland, an area of land where water covers ground for long period of time. Marshes are usually treeless and dominated by grasses and other herbaceous plants. These microorganisms can live inside animal bodies, even human bodies, and even on the plants. They can be alone or they can be having a symbiotic association. Now, what are these symbiotic association? These are special type of interaction between species. It can be beneficial sometime or it can be harmful. These relationships are essential to many organisms and ecosystem as they provide a balance that can be achieved by working together. So these are the different habitats where these type of microorganism survives. Microorganisms play an important role in our lives. Some of them are beneficial in many ways, whereas some other are harmful and they cause diseases. Now children, here we are going to study about the friendly microorganisms. They are also used up in cleaning of the environment, in making of curd, bread, cake. Microorganisms helps in breaking down of animal feces into harmless and usable substances by bacteria. They are also helpful in making soil fertile by fixing nitrogen. So the first important thing we are going to discuss that how microorganisms are used for making curd as well as bread. Curd contains several microorganisms and the bacteria name is Lactobacillus, which promotes the formation of curd. It multiplies in milk and converts it into curd. Bacteria are also involved in making cheese, pickles, as well as many other food items. Yeast is a type of a fungus, children, a unicellular fungus which helps in baking industry as it reproduces rapidly and produces carbon dioxide during the process of respiration. Second important point we are going to discuss that is a commercial use of microorganisms. Microorganisms are used for a large scale in the production of alcohol, wine, and acetic acid, which is also called as vinegar. Yeast is used for commercial production of alcohol as well as wine. And for this purpose, yeast is grown on the natural sugar present in grains like barley, wheat, rice, and other things. And you know the smell it comes out? It's of alcohol, which has been converted into alcohol by yeast. And the process of conversion of sugar into alcohol is known as fermentation. Louis Pasteur, he was the first person who discovered this phenomenon called as fermentation in 1857. Now the next use we are going to see that what is the medicinal use of microorganism. Now children, you know that antibiotic is being produced by microorganisms and these are the product which are being obtained from these microorganisms. Now, what are antibiotics? Antibiotics is a medicine which kills or stops the growth of disease-causing microorganisms. These days, the number of antibiotics are being produced from bacteria as well as fungi. Some of the examples are streptomycin, tetracycline, as well as erythromycin. Now, what are the uses of antibiotics? These antibiotics, when they are mixed in feed of livestock and poultry, it helps us in checking their diseases. As well as this antibiotics also helps in controlling many plant diseases. Children, you know the first person who discovered the first antibiotic penicillin was the Alexander Fleming. In 1929, Alexander Fleming was working on the culture of disease-causing bacteria. And you know what happened suddenly? He found the spores of the little green mold in one of his culture plate. And what did he observe? The presence of mold around the bacteria was not allowing the bacteria to grow. In fact, it also killed many of these bacteria. And from this, he understood it is the fungus penicillin which is not allowing the bacteria to grow, and he discovered the first antibiotic called as penicillin. It is very important, children, to remember that antibiotics should be taken only on the advice of the qualified doctor. Also, you must complete the course of the prescribed by the doctor. If you take antibiotic when not needed or in wrong doses, it may make the drug less effective when you might need it in future. Also, antibiotics taken unnecessarily may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. Antibiotics, however, are not effective against cold and flu as these are caused by viruses. So we have to remember that whatever the antibiotics the doctor prescribed to us, we should take it very carefully. Now the next slide we are going to discuss that how microorganisms are helping in preparation of the vaccine. A vaccine is a biological preparation that provides active acquired immunity to a particular infectious disease. Now when a disease carrying microbe enter our body, the body produces antibodies to fight the invader. The body also remembers, children, how to fight the microbe if it enters again. So if dead or weakened microbes are introduced in a healthy body, the body fights and kills them by producing suitable antibodies. The antibodies remain in the body and we are protected from the disease-causing microbes. And this is the reason how vaccine works. Several diseases, including your cholera, tuberculosis, smallpox, hepatitis, can be prevented by the process of vaccination. Edward Jenner was the first person to discover the vaccine for the smallpox. These days, vaccines are made on a large scale from microorganisms to protect humans, animals from several diseases. Now children, the next important use of microorganism is to increase the soil fertility. Some bacteria and blue-green algae are able to fix nitrogen from the atmosphere to enrich soil with nitrogen and increase its fertility. These microbes are commonly called as biological nitrogen fixer. These microorganisms are also helps in the cleaning of the environment. Microorganisms can use to degrade organic waste of plants and animals and convert it into simple substances. The plant waste has to be converted into manure by the action of microbes. The nutrients released in this process can be used by the plant again. Large amount of dead organic matter in a form of decaying plants and sometimes dead animals on the ground are being formed. You can see that this is because of the microorganism. They decompose dead organic waste of plants and animals, converting them into simple substances. These substances are again used by other plants and animals. Thus, microorganism can be used to degrade the harmful and smelly substances and thereby cleaning the environment. Now, microorganisms are harmful in many ways also. Some of the microorganisms, they cause diseases in human beings, plant as well as animals. There are pathogens which causes disease, and those disease causing microorganisms are called as pathogens, children. Some microorganisms, they spoil food, clothing as well as leather. These pathogens can enter through our food, water, air or through physical contact. Now, what are communicable diseases? These are those diseases which spread from infected person to healthy person. Example, cholera, common cold, chickenpox, tuberculosis, as well as nowadays COVID-19. Now, what are carriers? There are some insects and animals which act as carrier of diseases causing microbes. You know that housefly is one of the carrier. What this housefly they do? These fly, they sit on the garbage and animal excreta. Pathogen, as I already told you, they are the disease causing microorganism. They stick to their bodies, and when these flies sit on uncovered food, they may transfer the pathogens. Whoever eats the contaminated food is likely to get sick. You know this. And this is very much advisable that we should cover our food. Children, avoid consuming food, uncovered items of the food. Another example of the carrier is the female Anopheles mosquito, which carries the parasite of malaria. Female AIDS mosquito, which acts as a carrier of the dengue virus. And you know that in your lower class you all have studied that mosquito breeds in water. Hence, the water should not be collected anywhere, or the stagnant water should not be there, because it is a breeding ground for the mosquitoes, which breeds and it spreads diseases like malaria as well as dengue fever. Now here in this slide we are going to see that there are common human diseases caused by microorganisms. So the tuberculosis, children, it is caused by bacteria and the transmission mode is air. Measles, chickenpox, polio. These are the diseases caused by the pathogen, that is a virus. And measles transmission is through air, chickenpox through air contact, polio it can be through air as well as water. What are the preventive measures we have to see for this bacterial as well as viral diseases? Keep the patients in complete isolation. Keep the personal belongings of the patient away from those of others. Vaccination to be given at suitable age. So we have to take this precaution, children. Vaccination is must. Person should be isolated if the person is suffering from these diseases, so that other person should not get these type of pathogens. The next disease caused by bacteria is the cholera as well as typhoid. They are the bacterial diseases caused by transmission mode is water, food as well as water. What are the preventive measures? Maintain personal hygiene and good sanitary habits. Consume properly cooked food and boiled drinking water. Vaccination is again must. Hepatitis B, it's a virus caused by virus. and the transmission mode is through water. So drinking boiled water is very much important, and vaccination is again the must. Next one is a malaria, as we have discussed about malarial disease. Protozoan, the cause pathogen is the protozoan. Mode of transmission is through the mosquito, a carrier. Use mosquito net and repellent. Spray insecticides and control breeding of these mosquitoes by not allowing water to control in the surrounding. Now, whatever we have discussed in the previous slides, children, we are going to do some of the very important questions. The first question says, microorganism can be seen with the help of dash. As I already told you, microorganisms are also called as microbes, which are very small, which cannot be seen with our naked eyes. It is only visible with the help of the microscope. Second question says, blue-green algae fix dash directly from air to enhance fertility of soil. Now, blue-green algae, they can fix atmospheric nitrogen from air to enhance fertility of soil. Third question says, alcohol is produced with the help of dash. Now, as we have seen the important uses of microorganisms, so the commercial production of alcohol is being seen that there is a fungus which helps in the production of this alcohol, and that fungus name is yeast. That is a unicellular fungus which helps in the production of alcohol. Cholera is caused by dash. Cholera is a disease caused by pathogen called as bacteria. Now the next question says, what are antibiotics? Antibiotics are the medicines which kills or stop the growth of the disease causing microorganisms. Some of the antibiotics we have discussed, and they are streptomycin, tetracycline, and erythromycin. Second question says, name some diseases caused by bacteria, virus, as well as protozoans. So the diseases caused by bacteria are typhoid, tuberculosis. Diseases caused by virus are influenza, cough, cold, as well as COVID-19. Some of the even serious diseases caused by viruses are polio, chickenpox also you can write down. Diseases caused by protozoans are malaria, dengue fever. What precaution? Next question says, what precautions we should take while taking antibiotics? So the precautions or the important step, we have to be very careful that we should complete the course which has been prescribed by the doctor. And even unnecessarily antibiotic we should not take because it may kill the beneficial bacteria in the body. What are the uses of microorganisms? Now there are various microorganisms which can be used. It helps in the production of curd and bread, as we have already discussed. It helps in the production of alcohol, wine, acetic acid, that is called as vinegar. Then we have seen that microorganisms also helps in the medicinal purpose for the production of antibiotics. It also increases the fertility of soil by fixing atmospheric nitrogen and enriching the soil with nitrogen, increasing its fertility. And the last use of microorganism, it also helps in cleaning the environment. It degrades the harmful and smelly substances and it cleans up the environment. Thank you.